It's been 5.5 years since Portal 2. I just feel like it's time to start wondering about Portal 3. So today Gameranx is bringing you 10 things we don't want in Portal 3. Number 10, actual guns and/or combat. Okay, what's Portal about? Besides a wacky laboratory underground somewhere in Michigan housing several killer robots that get delusions of grandeur while housing technology that makes teleportation possible. It's about puzzles. Some of the best damn puzzles out there. We don't want to mess that up, do we? I want to play another game that is just filled with amazing puzzles that are asking me to consider physics, human design, and other unexpected factors. I understand it exists in the same world as Half-Life, which is a first-person shooter, and that's why I say I hope that the story doesn't somehow necessitate some type of gun situation here. I mean, honestly, who has even done this other than Valve? In fact, I think you'll see that the things that we don't want to happen in Portal 3 revolve a lot around not messing up the formula. Number 9, co-op with more than 2 players. Portal as a concept, it's a clever game. Having more than 2 people playing in co-op would just make it crazy. In fact, 2 people can even make it crazy. But Portal 2's co-op definitely made it work. And as I said before, Valve is definitely capable of miracles, but I don't see them pulling something out of their ass that makes 4-player co-op possible in the Portal world. The spaces are enclosed, the puzzles are very, very specific. It just wouldn't work. Now, am I saying 4-player competitive would be bad? Not necessarily. In fact, despite probable resistance to that idea, it actually could work. Number 8, puzzles with only one solution. Now, there are a few of them littered throughout the first 2 games, and in my humble opinion, there should be 0. You should be able to solve these puzzles in any number of ways, not necessarily an infinite amount, but more than one. Part of what makes Portal so enjoyable is the reward for your critical thinking skills. The creativity of constructing your own solutions is significantly more satisfying than simply, say, picking a lock. Not that that's never satisfying, it's just the Portal concept is so much more complex and open-ended. It's nice knowing people can sort of bend the game to their own will. It makes the puzzles themselves seem just a bit less linear, while still maintaining an objective that keeps you going in a certain direction. It's just more fun knowing you're not stuck solving everything a certain way. Number 7, sandbox mode or an open world. Taking what I was just saying from the previous point and going too far with it would really result in a game that is so much less focused on its own puzzles. I hope we're all on the same page there. Now, I'm absolutely not saying we need a full-blown linear experience as we did. Having a hub world might be nice, and not a tiny one either, one that we can experiment in and play around in and enjoy ourselves, and enjoy the incredible Portal technology that we'll probably never see within our lifetimes because it is so far beyond our wildest dreams. I mean, teleporting? I'll take it. But I really don't want to play Grand Theft Portal. Really, that would be such a drastic change. I don't know if you could still call the game Portal if they did that. So let's hope they don't. Number 6, underutilized Half-Life crossovers. Being they take place in the same world and their stories are intertwined, it would be a shame if they didn't use this. Now, there's the setup between the two with the Borealis. The Borealis is a ship manufactured by Aperture Sciences. In Half-Life Episode 1, we hear tell of the Borealis being found in an Arctic location, and in Episode 2, we learn a little bit more about it, but it opens a bit of a rift between the 2 resistance leaders. Actually, more than a little bit, but we don't need to get into it. It's likely whichever game comes next, whether it be Portal 3 or Half-Life 3, will explain more about the Borealis. It's an important part of the lore that, honestly, we don't know anything of any significance about yet. Number 5, we don't want the game to just be a continuation of Portal 2. Now, there's a few different things that people want. Some want a prologue, some want a completely different story, and there are various options for both. But nobody really wants to put Shell through more of this crap. First off, without spoiling anything, Portal 2 wraps up pretty well, and it's kind of hard to keep going after that. I'm not saying you couldn't, and Valve is pretty damn good at storytelling, and I would trust them even if that were the case. However, it'd be really nice if they didn't. It'd be really nice to get a new person's story and see a new perspective revealing new things about everything. I don't really know what they'll do. For all we know, they could combine Half-Life 3 and Portal 3 into one game. In fact, some people have said that that's what they would want. I personally wouldn't. I want something completely new. Obviously using the Portal formula, but it would really suck if Shell had to get dragged in there again. Number 4, a required internet connection. Man, would I really not like to see that. I don't like how many games I end up playing that I need to have connect for whatever reason, DRM, and just verify that I'm playing it legally. It's not that I play them illegally, and I don't know that it's really Valve's philosophy to do this kind of thing. Gabe Newell has said multiple times that it's not the way to do things, and the best way to beat piracy is to just make your service much better than the pirate service. So I'm just really hoping that we don't see something like that. Number 3, more timed tests. meaning tests that have a timer, like 1418 in the original Portal. Oh, is this high crime in the Portal world? Not really. The time tests are tolerable, it's just I'd much rather have games where it's about critical thinking rather than thinking on your feet. A puzzle that really makes me consider things is something that I'm much more interested in than a puzzle kind of just throwing a quick question at me. Timed puzzles are kind of like on or off, yes or no, whereas the untimed puzzles are much more like, what's the universe about, man? They're deeper is what I'm saying. Number 2, less humor. Like I said at the beginning of this video, it's been 5.5 years since the last Portal game, and while we've definitely seen some more comedy games, we've also seen a lot of other games go much more serious than they originally were. In my opinion, Portal 2's humor is just ingenious, and the original Portal had this amazing dark humor about it as well. I cannot imagine a good reason to start restricting the humor in these games, but time has done weirder things to those who create. People change. Let's just hope Valve still likes laughing as much as they used to. And finally, number 1, we really don't want a voiced protagonist, do we? In both Half-Life and Portal, the protagonist doesn't talk, and I'm not saying that a speaking protagonist is not interesting. In fact, most of the time I would prefer it. However, in these games there's just something that feels right about the silence of the character. Shell just kind of ignoring GLaDOS all the time, and simply not responding to her ever, just feels right. Would you want to acknowledge that machine sitting there mocking you or leading you to your death? I sure would not want to. I'd be pretty angry at that machine at just basically all the time, which is why it wouldn't make sense to have a voice protagonist.
Hello. Hi, Gameranx subscribers. So, I'm actually here on the moon still. Haven't gone anywhere. Would really like Portal 3 to, maybe just happen already then. I've waited a while, a long while. It's been a long time. Seriously. A long time. It just would be really nice not to be here anymore. So the thing I would want from Portal 3 the most is for it to just actually happen.
If there's anything you would really rather not see in Portal 3, go ahead and leave it in the comment area. We absolutely love the discussion. The more people talk about these things, the more inclined the developers are to actually listen to people's suggestions. While you're at it, make sure you click the like button because it helps us a whole lot. And if you're new to Gameranx, make sure you're subscribed because we upload daily and that is the absolute easiest way to see them first. Thanks so much for watching this video, and all our videos for that matter, and we will see you on the next one at Gameranx.